Welcome back to Newswatch 10, our special edition, The Sports Zone. This is the debut of the new show, which will air every Thursday night following the local news. Along with Daily Citizen sports writer and columnist Adam Crone, I'm Jeremy Babin, and obviously we're going to talk about sports throughout the year, but today it is all about football here in Northwest Georgia, and especially at Maury County, who's already started their football season, coming off of a 10-0 win, snapping a 9-game losing streak. Adam, you were at East Hall for that game. What impressed you from the Indians?
Yeah, I made the trip to Gainesville. What impressed me most about Maury County was it was a complete team win. All three facets of the game, offense, defense, and special teams, contributed to that win. The defense held the East Hall Vikings to no points allowed, and Tyler Bowling's 40-yard interception return to the 2-yard line set up the game's only touchdown. On offense, the Indians did a good job protecting their lead in the run game, and on special teams, Ray Hernandez kicked a 45-yard field goal, so it was just a complete team win. And also the offense committed no turnovers, which is really big for Maury County, and that's been a problem for them in the past.
It always helps any football team win a game. Obviously we got to talk about Maury County with the coaching change, another coaching change for them. The John Ziegler era has begun, and just tell me, from just watching the game, did you get a sense of a different play from John Ziegler as opposed to different coaches in the past?
No, really. Coach Ziegler has been there as an assistant for 25 years, since 1984. So, in a way, the players were already really comfortable with him. They knew how he likes to run his practices, his style. So it was a very smooth transition. It was almost not even getting a new coach at all. So, as far as that goes, no, I didn't notice any difference at all.
How about the offense? Was there a different offense that you've seen, than in years past from them?
Well, no, not right now. The Indians, unfortunately, they're still very limited on offense, particularly in the passing game. That was a problem for them last year. They ran the ball the majority of the time, and they had the lead, so that worked for them. So we'll just have to see how the offense develops further down, especially when they have to pass when they don't have the lead.
Well, a team that definitely is no stranger to winning, Christian Heritage. What a year they had last year. Undefeated, they ran the table. They're the team to beat now. How do they look right now going into this season?
Well, yeah, they were 12-0 in the Georgia Football League, now called the Glory for Christ Football League. And they're still going to be highly competitive, but they've lost 9 seniors, and they started both sides of the ball. What you have to realize about these GF-CFL teams is that they're homeschool teams, they're private school teams. They only have about 20 players total on the team. So all their players are starting both sides of the ball. So if you're losing 9 seniors and they're starting on both sides of the ball, obviously you're basically starting over from scratch. But they've got the players there. I think they can do good. I think they'll be competitive. I talked to Lions coach Mike Baden. He ranks them as the 3rd best team in the league behind the North Georgia Falcons and the Georgia Force.
Well, just from covering Christian Heritage last year and all the way through the championship game, the 2 players who, just from my eyes, look like could be difficult to replace are starting quarterback John Pierce and leading rusher Jared Cronin. Who steps in maybe and replaces them?
Yeah, and again on defense, they were both in the backfield, so they're a big part of the defense. But yeah, who will step in is really what they're going to do is they're going to pull John Pierce's brother Daniel from the wide receiver position, move him over to starting quarterback. He'll do fine there. It'll be a seamless transition there. And they're going to switch up their running style a little bit. Jared Cronin was a faster, shiftier running back. They're going to go with Terrell Wilson, last year's tight end. He's going to be more of a power running back. But they're going to do fine back there. They're going to be the leaders of the backfield. The only problem is they're losing their 2 best wide receivers to go to the backfield. So Coach Vaden said he's still looking for a number 1 receiver to step up. So if you're a Lions wide receiver watching this right now, go ahead and take initiative because Coach Vaden's waiting for you.
And we hope you'll keep waiting for us because we have just scratched the surface here on the first Sports Zone of the year. We've got plenty more to come. Southeast, Northwest, and the big Dalton at Calhoun matchup coming up when Sports Zone returns. You can be part of the show if you'd like, of the Sports Zone. Just send us an email, sports@wdnntv.com, or you can write to us with comments, suggestions, questions, suggestions for guests. P.O. Box 1740 in Dalton, Georgia, 30722. Well, Adam, a team looking to really improve from last year. Southeast went 1-9, not the best year, obviously, in terms of record, but definitely making some steps forward. How much of a bigger step do you think they're making this year?
Well, I think they've made a big step just by having Coach Crane stick around for another year. If you look at Southeast program, especially recently, they've gotten a new coach in just about every sport except for soccer. Jameson Griffin's been there for 8 years. But the coaching turnover rate there has been pretty devastating. And actually, Coach Crane, last year was his first year, he had a chance to go back to his home state in South Carolina, take a high school coaching gig there. He turned it down, stuck to his word that he wanted to turn around this Raiders program. And so he's back, and he's back there with that unique, high-octane, pass-heavy offense. And we'll just see where it goes this year.
Well, first place it'll be going is against Northwest tomorrow night, a team that missed the playoffs for the first time since 2005 last year. Of course, lots changed from last year going into this year, most notably at the quarterback position, losing Dean Haynes to graduation now at NC State. How much different will the offense be this year when you lose a guy like Dean Haynes?
Yeah, well, anytime you lose an athlete of Dean's caliber, a top-tier Division I athlete who had the ball in his hands every play, you're obviously going to have to switch a lot up in your offense. But Coach Fleur is going to work with what he's got, and he believes that team can still be highly competitive on the offensive side of the ball. They still believe firmly in running the ball. They've got 2 running backs in Jordan Darnell and Lance Andrews. They're going to help carry the load away from another dynamic running back that graduated last year, Drew Smith. And also, Chad Keeter is going to be their starting quarterback this year. He's a senior. And also, if Keeter should struggle, Mike Fleur said he's not going to hesitate to put in Tyler Shepard, quarterback. So they've got a lot to work with back there, and I think they can still be competitive.
And just from covering Northwest last year and just early in the preseason this year, there's one player who I think who really could be big for them, and that's Nerman Delic. How much of an impact could he have in the Bruins' success this year?
He's 6'5", 240 pounds. He's verbally committed to the University of Maryland. And I think he's going to be a big impact on both sides of the ball. He's going to be at tight end, defensive end. So he should help Chad Keeter and Tyler Shepard get acclimated in the passing game fairly easily.
And it definitely helps when you've got size, that's for sure. Well, their rival team, Dalton, they've got a big game this week too. That's probably our game of the week. Dalton at Calhoun. We know the history between these two teams, between this matchup. 2 years ago was a Hail Mary that beat Dalton. And then last year, Dalton just destroyed Calhoun. What are you looking for in this matchup, opening game?
Well, I know from last year, my first year covering Northwest Georgia football, is that Dalton got off to a fast start last season. I think they went all the way up to 5-0. We're in the top 5 of the state rankings for the first half of the season. First team they beat, Calhoun, ends up going to the 7-2A state finals game. And then the team that they beat the next week, Sprayberry, ended up winning Region 7-4A, which is Dalton's region. So, they're highly competitive. They can play with the best of the teams in the state, and they've proven that. So I expect this to be a very, very close game. I talked to in Calhoun. They started the season very hot. Talked to Calhoun coach Hal Lamb. And he said he doesn't expect any momentum to carry over from last season, that he's just taking this as a whole new year. And he also says he firmly believes that this is the best team that Dalton has put out on the field in a while. They've got a lot of key players coming back this year, especially in the running game with Shaquan Moore and Trey Beck, who had an outstanding freshman season last year. And then Striker Brown at quarterback. So the backfield is very stable, and with the offensive line with 6'5", 300+ pound Watts Dantzler blocking for them, they're going to be very solid.
And another player who we got to talk about who they don't have this year, Carter Crutchfield, the defensive back and wide receiver who did some big things for Dalton last year, not going to have his services this year. Who could step in and replace him?
Well, they got players on both sides of the ball that are more capable, as valuable as Carter was, being their top receiver and top defensive back. As far as on defensive back, Trey Washington is going to step into that role. I think he'll do fine. He's already been offered a scholarship by Western Kentucky. Still mulling over his options there as far as what he wants to do. Yeah, they're going to be moving Trey back into the backfield in certain packages, so they're going to have some speed back there to help out with that. And then on offense, Crutchfield was their number 1 receiver, so they're going to have 2 receivers that I think are more than capable of stepping into that role. Tevin Collins came on strong last year, and Chaz Thomason, he caught 2 touchdown passes in Dalton's final game last year against Hillgrove in the region playoff game.
Well, I am definitely ready for some football for Friday night and Saturday and Sunday. It's just that time of the year.
Even tonight.
Yeah,
Christian Heritage.
Absolutely. Well, we will be here, like I said, every Thursday night following the local newscast. And from Adam Crone, Daily Citizen, I'm Jeremy Babin from Newswatch 10. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.